I've come to the Bhaktivedanta Manor. I'm a Jew, a monotheist, somebody who believes in one God. And I think I may have a bit of a problem with Hinduism, which is, appears to me to believe in many gods. I'd even use the word idols. So I've come to meet Dilip Kadodwala, who's a religious education advisor in Leicestershire and a Hindu. Dilip, my wife is the deputy head teacher of a Jewish primary school. She brings parties of children to Hindu temples. And this raises all sorts of questions for her and for the children, and for me, about one God, many gods, and even about the word idolatry, which Judaism has always set its face against. Can you help me with this? Explain to me what all this is about.
Of course I can. The murtis we see in front of us are of Rama and Krishna, and their consorts Sita and Radha. The idea being that God is actually one, and Hindus prefer the term murti as opposed to the word idols, because idols has a very negative connotation for them. The key idea really for Hindus is that God is one. In fact, some Hindus would say there's only God, God being everywhere and in everything. But it's rather like a diamond sometimes. Depending on which light it's put up against, it sparkles in different ways. So it's another way of explaining that God is one, but has many forms. And depending on which way you look at it, you will see what you want to see. Some of the murtis and gods have particular animals, for example, with them.
Well, I can see them. Is that a monkey over there?
That's actually the monkey deity is called Hanuman. It's a god who helped rescue Sita when she was captured by a demon. That's very closely associated with the story of Diwali for many Hindus.
I'm looking at the shrine. There's a chain in front of it. Does that mean I can't actually go up to it?
In strict terms, the pujari, or the person who will look after the temple, or as Hindus call their place of worship, mandir, is the one who will go there and perform the various rituals which are necessary as part and parcel of worship. So strictly speaking, it's the priest who has access to that part of the mandir.
So you would have no more access to it than me?
No, other than being quite close by and performing my rituals as I do them.
Certainly in Judaism and Christianity, we are struggling with a very male representation of God over the past centuries, and with the realization that may not be helpful as far as 50% of the community are concerned. Are those same issues around for Hindus?
Again, not in quite the same way. Hinduism actually is a religion which has many goddesses. Remember again that God can be perceived in many different ways. Right. And at particular festival times, particular female deities are very much at the fore.
So you won't get women within the Hindu community saying that they're discriminated against?
No, I mean, I think there are many enlightened women who actually possess great spiritual knowledge, and the respect that's accorded to them is actually quite significant.
The picture's becoming clear to me, and one of the things that's really coming over to me is your calmness and your tolerance. Are Hindus all as tolerant of each other, and are all Hindus as tolerant of other faiths?
I have to say that I find the word tolerance somewhat off-putting, but I think the word inclusive is probably a better word. Hinduism is certainly very inclusive. Remembering also that the word Hinduism covers a whole variety of many different beliefs and practices. It's rather like an umbrella term which has many people underneath it. I'm reminded of something that Mahatma Gandhi said, that, you know, we're not in the business of converting. If you are a Jew, then be a better Jew. If you're a Christian, then learn to be a better Christian, rather than to say to me, why don't you convert to Judaism or Christianity? And I think there's a lot in Gandhi's viewpoint there, that we should learn to be better and be better practitioners of our religion, rather than be in the business of converting. Now, having said that, I think it is unfortunate that even within the great traditions of Hinduism, there are some extremist or fanatical positions which have come about more recently, and they are certainly much more assertive. But by and large, I think it is true to say that Hindus are peace-loving and accepting of other faiths and other paths. It's another image in my mind again, that you have a picture of many streams and rivers running down a mountain, merging into the sea. And who's to say one stream is better than the other? Because in the end, it's the goal that they all pursue which is more important.
The image that I would use is of, in terms of the different faith traditions, is of many beautiful gardens.
Exactly.
And you're happy to wander from time to time into other people's gardens,
yes,
and admire
to learn,
them.
And to learn.
And to learn. You're happy for me to live and tend my particular garden.
Yes. Be a better gardener than you are already, I think is what I would say.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm very grateful to Dilip for that and found it very helpful. But we used the image of the religions of the world as different gardens. And gardens contain weeds. We mustn't be too cosy. We must remember that we have to do things about the weeds, particularly in our own gardens.